Welcome everyone to today's video. My name is Egwin and today I'm going to show you two easy ways to work on your neck muscles and on your shoulder muscles, both to release excessive tension and to coordinate them properly. As in some of the previous videos, I'm going to use the same basic principle again. A principle that says you're going to work in your movement actively towards one direction, towards one point, one polarity, and after that, most important thing is to release rather than to work in the opposite direction again actively. So this concept of work and release, so doing something, using energy to go towards a certain point and then just simply let go and let the work that you've just done do something for you in return. This is a basic principle that's very important whenever we talk about coordinating and releasing muscles in the physical body. As always, just to mention it, whenever you want to review this video and jump to a certain point throughout the video, there is a time code list in the description below that will allow you to jump to any specific point throughout the video. Other than that, let's get started right away. Now, the first exercise. Bring yourself in a comfortable upright position. When I say comfortable upright position, don't force yourself in any position you observed or have ever learned to be a correct one. Just stand in a position that would be your regular upright position. Right now, when you just stand somewhere, say at a bus stop or whatever, just a regular normal day position without any special awareness on pulling the shoulders back, making the leg long, pulling the belly in, or anything of those aspects. One thing that always helps when working with structure is to keep your foundation at a proper position. So make sure that the inside edges of your feet are parallel towards each other and the feet are roughly hip-wide apart. From there, you just simply bring your body in a natural position as just mentioned before. And what we are going to do is a rolling motion of the shoulders towards the front, then a release, and then a rolling motion of the shoulders towards the back, and again a release. The exercise looks like that. I'm going to show you from two different angles. Angle number one, I'm going to roll my shoulders to the front. Let go. I'm going to roll my shoulders to the rear. Let go. Show you from the front. Rolling the shoulders to the front. Letting go. Rolling the shoulders to the back. Letting go. So that's the exercise. We're going to discuss how to properly do it in a second. Just what does it work on? Obviously, it works on shoulder mobility. So I mean actually the shoulder joint, the humeroclenoidal joint between the scapula, which is the shoulder blade, and your humerus, which is the bone inside of your upper arm area. Now, you mobilize this joint. You also mobilize your whole clavicle area, the collarbone area, because the collarbone is actually the only bone connection between your shoulder and the rest of your skeleton. So your leg is obviously attached to the rest of your skeleton via the hip joint, but the shoulder joint isn't actually any different connected with the rest of the skeleton than just through this small thin bone here, the collarbone up here. So also we know when we take a hand and put it up here and you move the shoulder, you feel the collarbone move in different directions as well. It sort of rolls, it lifts, comes to the front. This also means that whenever we work with the shoulders, we also have a mobilizing aspect up here in the highest chest area where the collarbone actually attaches to the sternum area. So this will open up also a little bit of the highest rib area here in front of my body. Now the shoulders, and that's important for all exercises I'm going to show you today, the shoulders are attached to the body through muscles mainly, apart from the collarbone physical bone connection. Now the muscles that are most important for once are my pectorals, which is my chest muscles that are run out in front here. That's the trapezius muscle that goes out to the shoulder and from the shoulder down back towards the midline here, and that also comes up into the neck area back here. It's the levator scapulae muscle, which is a very small muscle that's from the inside upper edge of my scapula, of my shoulder blade, and runs up towards my cervical spine. And another very important part are my rhomboids. My rhomboids are the muscles between the shoulder blade and my spine. There are a couple of other muscles that are important. I'm going to mention some of them a little later. But those are the main muscles that we're going to work on in this first exercise. Also, muscles that are out here, the deltoids, the muscle that run from my shoulder height down towards the arm. So it's this deltoid-shaped muscle out here that runs down to my arm. It's got three parts, a front, a middle, and a rear part. And the deltoids are also being affected by this rolling exercise. Now what are we going to do, or what are we doing in this rolling exercise precisely? For once, try not to collapse with your body while doing the exercise. Simply roll your upper arms and your arms in general, roll them in. It's literally an inward rotation in your shoulder joints. And that only goes so far unless you allow your shoulder blade to travel to the front as well, left and right, of your body, to sort of go around your body towards the front, as if the shoulder blades are literally covering you from behind, like the wings of a bird. Now, the rotation still starts in my arm. So the rotation doesn't start by pulling the shoulders to the front without any rotation in my arm. To make that more visible, I just put out my arms like so. You don't have to do that, just be sure to do that. You're rolling your arms, so that's an inward rotation of your upper arm area. It's the same when you have the arm stretched, still turning the elbow to the side so that it faces away from the body. That's an inward rotation of your upper arm area, and that's exactly what we want here. On both sides, you start rolling, and when you feel you can't go any further, just using rotation in your shoulder joint, then you sort of try to push your sternum backwards and push the spine actually back out between your shoulder blades, back here in the rear. So the shoulder blades literally travel around the body and to the front. You release. That's the most important part in this release, because with the rolling action, we actively used muscles in the front of the body to roll towards the front. Now we stretched all the muscles in the rear of the body, and in the rear between the shoulder blades, so the rhomboids for example, and parts of the trapezius muscle as well. So like that, also a little bit latissimus dorsi. So you roll in front like that, and then simply let go. This letting go of the tension is not the same than collapse. Don't let go in your whole body, just simply let go of the tension in your shoulders. And they'll naturally be pulled back in a more natural position. Now we do the same in the opposite direction. We rotate our arms to the outside, meaning we try to rotate the elbow towards our body, thus opening up the front area here, in the higher chest area, just underneath the clavicle, very good, like so. And then we actually actively try to move the inside edges of our shoulder blades closer to each other, like that. From the front it looks like that. We roll the elbows towards the body. So we open the shoulders to the side and pull the shoulder blades together and then release. And with the release, you not only release between the shoulder blades, but you also release the whole arm area, and the arms will naturally roll back towards the front. Now this is exercise number 1. One more important thing here, make sure that your head stays as light as possible throughout the whole exercise. It will naturally follow the curvature of the spine a little bit when you roll your shoulders to the front. So don't try to have your head still high up while you roll to the front, because this would create a lot of tension back here. Just naturally allow the neck and the head to follow the curvature in your thoracic spine that's created by opening the thoracic spine between the shoulder blades, and from that you release. In this release, your head will also naturally be pulled back up, because your spine will naturally shift back into a more centered position, thus also shifting the foundation for the cervical spine, thus lifting your head back up. Same goes for going backwards. Don't try to force your head to stay in front. Just simply roll your shoulders to the back. If your head wants to lift a little bit in this action, that's fine. Just make sure to let it relax again once you come to the front. Now this exercise is rather simple, it's quite easy, and it makes a lot of space in this upper chest area and in the area back here between your shoulder blades. It mobilizes the whole area, but it doesn't give this mobilization any direction. So if you feel like it afterwards, it's always a nice thing to sort of brush out of the body, centered towards the peripheral areas, and just simply brush out a little bit of that tension. Just shake it off a little bit, make some natural shaking moves afterwards, so that the muscles revert back to a more natural, less conscious interaction with each other. Still using this exercise with action, release, action, release. You also train the muscles again, as mentioned in many videos before, in this agonist antagonistic manner, so that the muscles that support the movement work and are in any way are not at all hindered in doing so by the other muscles that normally would do exactly the opposite movement. So good coordination in the body always means that only those muscles work that need to work in order to perform a movement, thus giving the joints in between the muscles the less possible tension. Yeah? So it's very important that whenever we do that, tension in the joints reduces, the pressure in the joints is reduced. Let's jump to the second exercise. Second exercise, I'm gonna go down on the ground It's a very nice exercise to really get rid of excessive tension in your neck and shoulder area. Now this one really works on the muscles that are closer to the spine, so that works on the trapezius, on the levator scapulo and on the rhomboids. It also works a little bit on the seratus anterior, which is a muscle that lies underneath my pectorals and runs back there, also underneath my shoulder blade, and attaches on the inside edge of the shoulder blade, but closer to the body, so from the inside. And this second exercise is also one of the very few exercises that you can actually use to get rid of tension in your neck area without needing the neck to do any work at all. What does it mean? Whenever we stand in an upright position, whenever we roll around, whenever we sit, whenever we walk, there is one thing for sure, that our whole shoulder and arm area is actually hung on my spine and on my body and on my thorax. So without all the muscles supporting the shoulder area, like the rhomboids, like the trapezius, like the levator scapula, like the pectorals, like even latissimus dorsi and so on, without all those muscles, my shoulders would literally just fall down in front of me and hang from the clavicles somewhere out here. Now obviously that's not very practical, but if we really want to reduce tension in the neck area, it's a good idea to look for a position where all the muscles that normally have to attach the shoulder to the body, where all those muscles can actually relax and other muscles are at work. And this is what the second exercise is all about. This exercise is done by lying on the side. We're going to stretch up one arm into the air. If you need to, make sure to have a pillow or something like that to put underneath your ear so that your head doesn't tilt to the side. I normally just simply use my arm. You can do that however you need in order to make yourself comfortable for lying on the side. I'm going to show you the exercise first from different directions. Normally I like to lie on the side with my legs bent out in front like so, not stretched out. Why? Especially for this exercise. Why? Because it stabilizes my body. The other arm is either up here supporting the head or out to the side if you want to use a pillow. I'm just simply going to use my arm. Now make sure that your body is at a 90-degree angle towards the ground. What we're going to do now is we're going to stretch up one arm as loose as possible towards the sky. Make sure it doesn't hang out to the front or downwards or backwards or to the front too much, but it's sort of in a label stability, so it's pointing towards the sky as much as possible. And make sure that in this position you find a position where you need the least possible tension in order to keep this position from happening. Next thing we're going to do is simply we are going to stretch out the arm even higher. So find a way to stretch out the arm towards the sky and then let go again. Make sure that you actually activate this stretching out aspect starting from your body. Don't try to make your arm stiff and try to stretch it to the ceiling by starting to point your fingers. Literally try to get a feeling for your shoulder joint. This exercise is very nice also to get to know your shoulder joint, because just simply by holding your arm up like this, you'll get a feeling of all this tiny movement in your shoulder joints in a position where there is no additional pressure, not even the weight of the arm hanging on the shoulder joint and on the muscles of the shoulder joint, which it normally would, but just simply sitting in the shoulder joint. So it allows you to perceive it and to become conscious and aware of the joint in a completely different way that you wouldn't be able to experience normally. So from this position, just simply push your shoulder out to the side and then let go again. Push it out to the side and let go. To the side in this case means upwards, sideways of my body. So I stretch out the arm and I let go again. Stretch out the arm, let go again. Now you'll see on the video that my shoulder is actually moving sort of away from my body center and sitting back in. And that's it. That's the exercise. I can tell you that at the beginning it doesn't feel as if the shoulder was moving at all or moving a very far distance. But in 90% of the people it definitely does move a great distance, relatively speaking. Now I'm going to show you this whole position from the other side so that you can actually see what happens with the shoulder blade in the rear of the body. So I'm going to turn around. Now look at this area here. This area where I point with my finger right now, that's the inside edge of my left shoulder blade. Now when I push out the arm, the inside edge of my left shoulder blade is suddenly up here. Now I leave the finger here and I let the arm drop down. See, that's the distance between my thumb and my index finger that my shoulder blade moved back inwards. I'm going to do it just a couple of times. I leave this finger here to mark the current inside edge of my shoulder blade. It's now down here. I push out and just simply let it drop back in. Push out, simply let it drop back in. Push out and simply let it drop back in. Make sure to do this exercise just with a couple of repetitions. A couple of repetitions means 5, 6, maybe 7 times for one side. Then switch sides. Take the other arm, do it 5, 6, 7 times on the other arm, but not more often. Any more often and your body will try to comprehend the movement, will try to mentally analyze it and also start training or see it as a training aspect for the muscles that actually lift the shoulder to the side. But it's not about the training aspect for any muscle here, not in terms of building strength. In this position, it's all about mobilizing the shoulder and giving yourself an internal massage of all the muscles that normally hold the shoulder in place. Because in this position on the side, all the muscles up here that are designed to hold the shoulder up, as long as you turn them 90 degrees to the side, they don't work anymore, because gravity suddenly works in a completely different direction than those muscles are built. And so in this sideways position, all the muscles up into your neck area that also hold your shoulder blade cannot hold your shoulder anymore. And that's the whole idea of this exercise. It actually makes mobilizing your shoulders and your neck area so much easier. After that, just simply get back up, sit or stand, and just simply move a little bit. Doesn't have to be fast, just a little bit movement in your shoulder area. Make sure your arms are relaxed. Move them a little bit. You can even do a little bit rolling to the front, rolling to the back. Just very gentle, not as intense as we did before. Just very gentle. And then just simply walk. And just simply do your thing. So those are two very short exercises that you can perform also on a regular day basis whenever you feel you have a lot of tension in this area. Those are two exercises that can really help you to reduce tension, to reduce pain in this neck and shoulder area back here. This is also compatible to one of the last videos I did about how to reduce the tension in the neck area. Those two exercises go along with this other video quite well. Obviously, there are a lot of different approaches, a lot of different ways to relax or to train a muscle or to coordinate a muscle. And all the things that I'm showing you at the moment are all aspects that work with this principle of use your muscles actively to work towards one direction, then let go, and then work again. So always work and relax and let the work for you. That's one of the main basic principles, and I'm going to do a couple of more videos covering this principle in different areas of the body, so that you really get a deeper understanding of it, because it's important for everything, for general sitting, for walking, for breathing correctly. And once you reduce the internal pressure in your body by coordinating the muscles properly, then all the internal stress factors in the body are reduced tremendously, which again boosts your immune system, holds up your strength, holds up your focus and your energy level, and will in general make you feel much more alive, but also much more aware in a positive way of the body. If you have any questions to this video or to anything else you'll find on my channel, just make sure to comment. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'm happy if you subscribe to get more updates on everything that's to do with coordination with body consciousness, awareness, how to stay healthy, how to become healthy again, or how to restructure yourself in a sustainable and efficient way to go back to a natural movement, because that's where all the fun and all the really easygoing expression in the body actually lies. Other than that, I wish you a wonderful day, hope to see you around soon, and have a wonderful time.